Welcome back to the Daily Close. And well, who do we have in the house today? We have the man with the new cut, BAS Buddha. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Gojo.
Yeah.
And as always, our rock right here, Crypto-pleb. How you doing, boys?
Happy to be here, man. Just happy.
Living the dream.
Doing good.
Happy to be here. Well, I hope you
Loving
both
this
are
market.
excited. Yeah, the market's looking good. We've got a lot of things to share with you. But before we do, please always remember that this is not financial advice. We are only advocates of the space. So please do your own research before you decide to ape into anything. And also please give us a like, subscribe and hit the bell notification if you do like the content that we provide. That would be much appreciated. It only takes 2 seconds. So go ahead, smash that like button. So without further ado, let's kick it off. We're starting with BAS Buddha today, and he's going to take us through what's happening with the market.
Yeah, thanks. So this week's been pretty busy, very, very busy actually. Want to go to a few things that actually happened this week. One specific news actually that was made on the infrastructure bill that would have long-term effects on the crypto industry. So I wanted to cover a few news articles today, but definitely highlight the ones that I think are more prominent and ones that are going to affect our industry. Have you guys heard of this?
This is a big deal. I saw that. It was quite a hard fought one too.
Yeah.
It was a hard fought one. It was. Yeah. So I mean, 1 trillion is the initial. Actually, no, that's sort of the result. But basically, from October 1st, the federal government's going to start, their fiscal year for 2022. And basically, the infrastructure bill is just one aspect of the whole budget blueprint that they have. And their hope is that this will help fund things in the country like climate change, healthcare, education, all the while increasing tax on wealthy people and corporations, which is partially why, or if not maybe the main reason why, this crypto tax reporting requirement got in there. So what happened was, basically the original proposal was about $2.6 trillion. I would say I really want to highlight a lot about this news of this what happened, because the market's doing well, but I think we need to look at what's going to be infecting the industry long term. But here's a quick visual on what the actual proposal looked like. So initially, it's about $2.6 trillion. When the Democrats created this and drafted it, and then at the end of it, we get about
wow,
just for the infrastructure bill, about 550 billion. So wow, it was a hard fought bill, but I'll go into the details of that in a bit. So what ended up happening was the crypto tax reporting requirement basically said that brokers, which is loosely defined as basically any person who regularly provides a service to transfer digital assets on behalf of another person, are required to report and file a 1099. So that basically means, because it's so broad, terminology is so broad, it basically meant that miners, developers, and even stakers would have to comply. Anybody, us, we have to comply to these reporting requirements. When in fact, we wouldn't even have enough information to do that. And so, a lot of the boomers who are completely oblivious to what's going on in crypto are the ones kind of making this call. And fortunately, I'd have to give it to the Republicans, because a large few of them in particular, Pat Toomey, Cynthia Loomis, and a few more, were actually really the driving force behind trying to save the crypto industry by, fighting to amend this actual statement, or the definition of, what's termed a broker. So, just going through this real quickly, they went through multiple iterations of amendments, and then they finally came up with an agreeable definition. And unfortunately, when it was time to vote on the amendment, I don't know, did you guys hear about this part too?
Yeah, they prolonged it or something, right? They had to come back to it. There was some sort of well, yeah, they kind of delayed it, right?
Yeah, they delayed it, but they also went through multiple iterations and, you know, proposed a few different amendments. But the policy for this is that you have to have unanimous agreement on the actual amendments for it to go through. So at least with the crypto portion, they agreed on the definition and the actual wording. But when it came time to vote, there was one lone Republican who objected because he was basically, Crypto-pleb, I see you laughing. He was basically butthurt because his amendment to increase military spending wasn't included. And so, I mean, now there's, and yeah, the actual senator was this guy, Richard Shelby. He objected to the provision after his effort to add a military funding amendment was blocked by Bernie Sanders. It's just ridiculous. And so, you know, there's so much hate towards Richard Shelby right now, especially on crypto Twitter. I mean, I'm just going to show you this tweet by Charles Hoskinson, basically calling him a grade A piece of BS. Wow. And this was kind of the rave of the news for the week because it's going to have such long-lasting impact on the industry. You see a lot of this things happening on Twitter, and you can see our man Crypto Messiah over here commenting.
He's back.
He's back. But yeah, Richard Shelby basically says he knew he supported the amendment, but in his mind, it pales in comparison to the security of our nation, and so he just blocked it.
Sure, defense budget like dwarfs multiple countries combined. So
really, the innovation and job creation of crypto, right? Like this is gonna stifle innovation. And so a lot of people, we've heard it on different YouTubers as well, and people on crypto Twitter, they're gonna leave the US if they're not gonna be able to really innovate and invest, right? It's just
they've kind of taken a harsher stance than China, aren't they, on banning crypto, which is very surprising. I mean, you know, I think that it's going to affect everyone in crypto, right? This bill,
oh, absolutely,
including like the miners, who, you know, a lot of miners
just got to the US.
Yeah, exactly. So
they left China and just got to the US. Now they might have to vacate.
Yeah.
There is a silver line to this. The good news is that these changes aren't actually going to take effect until 2023, and so there's still time to kind of work out the specifics of the bill. I actually joined a live space on Twitter with that SBF held, FTX and stuff. And they were talking about how these peer-to-peer systems in crypto, right? DeFi applications, DEXs, they can't fundamentally be regulated because, you know, that's the whole proof. That's the whole point of these systems, is so that they're fraud proof and you can't actually have, you know, have any fraud or any too many intentions. Last note on this specific topic is, can we just find it? Is it this one? Yeah, just reading this today, actually. Pelosi basically said, you know, it got passed to now the House. It just got approved in the Senate, now passed the House. They're basically going to make an effort to modify the language. And so, you know, I think there's some positivity here to look forward to. There's some hope. Just one other big event that happened this week I want to kind of touch on is the largest DeFi hacking crypto history. I'm not sure if you guys caught this one.
That was insane.
The big news.
Like 600 million.
600.
Basically, 600 million.
I had this guy's playing games too. So like, here's some money back, throwing some ones and fives.
What was he thinking, right?
He was writing stuff, or he's coding stuff in some of the in the blockchain, saying, should I return the money, and, you know, asking for the public's opinion on what he should do is quite interesting, actually. And then I think in the end he returned like $5 million or something like that.
Actually it's a bit more. It's about 258 million is the latest.
Okay. That's a lot of money.
He even goes on to conduct an Ask Me Anything.
only in DeFi, eh? Like if this happened outside any other space than crypto, the hacker would just have left and run off with the 600 mil.
They would. And I think he said he did it for fun or just to teach him a lesson, which I kind of find skeptical because, a few of the articles and research on this, there's a Chinese-based blockchain security firm called Slowmist that basically were able to track down his exchange he was using, email address, IP address, and his ID. So it could have been in response to that he got caught, that he was trying to say, oh no, I'm gonna pass the money back.
Poker face out of it.
Yeah, apparently he transferred some funds to some centralized exchanges which he or she KYC'd on. So
yeah,
it's a big mistake.
That's a bit
if you're looking to evade attention,
responsibility. Yeah, true. Those are the two big stories of this week. Don't want to dive into the smaller ones because I know they got a lot of other topics on this video. So yeah, pass it over to Gojo, the man himself.
Awesome.
Please carry it away.
The legend.
Take it away.
There we go.
Pythons.
Thanks, man. Really interesting stuff, and I guess it's in line with news. Today I wanted to talk about stablecoins, not a new topic, often criticized as a pool of just FUD, right? But for those of us joining who don't know much about stablecoins, just briefly, stablecoins are called stablecoins because they're supposed to be stable. They're supposed to be worth exactly one USD. I know that stablecoins can be pegged to anything, but whether it's euro, gold, but for the most part here, at least today, I'm going to talk about it in the terms of USD. And really, they're supposed to let you get around regulation more easily. So it'll help you keep US cash on foreign exchanges, for example. Here, it just highlights some of the benefits of having a stable coin, as well as very briefly summarizing some of the risks, which I want to talk about today. The main topic of what I wanted to share with you guys is actually revisiting Tether. So
here we go again.
I know.
For the 50 millionth time.
For the 50 millionth time. Hey, but look, okay, if we're talking about this, when you go into a project, any project, you always do your research, right? You don't put money into anything without knowing what exactly it is. But we kind of remove stable coins, right, from that story. We don't think about it. So can I ask if you could take a guess? This one's going to be an easy one. Which is the top stable coin in terms of market cap? Pretty easy question, right?
Tether.
DT,
can you take a guess as to which coin has the greatest trading volume as of today?
I would probably say USDC.
I think it's
USDC? Tether?
Trading volume, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Tether.
At least pairing a lot of exchanges, I think.
Yeah. So Tether is correct. Market cap wise, it's obviously the largest in the space. But if we were to just look at all crypto and trading volume, you can see it's double of BTC's trading volume, even more.
Yeah.
Right? So massive.
Wow.
Some background on Tether. Basically, the way it should work is, in theory, if you gave Tether Limited, or the company that creates and manages Tether, if you give them one USD, they would mint you one Tether. And if you ever wanted to redeem Tether, you'd be able to go back to Tether Limited, give them your Tether, and they'd give you back one USD. And then they would burn the Tether so that it wouldn't exist anymore. And that's the way that they would keep the balance between the money in Tether's reserves and then the money that Tether is issuing, ideally. Now, the problem is, and I don't want to put my tinfoil hat here, but if I'm looking at even just Tether's own website and their own terms and services, if we just took that definition, in their terms and services, it literally says they reserve the right to delay the redemption or withdrawal of Tether tokens if such delay is necessitated by the liquidity or unavailability of loss. Think about that statement really quickly. They're basically saying, in Tether's terms and services, they don't have to redeem anything if they can't, or if they don't want to, if there's an issue of liquidity. So stable coins, as we know, are the backbone. It's the backbone of liquidity in the crypto world.
Yep.
If Tether or any large stable coin disappears overnight because of these liquidity issues, and as regulation becomes more strict, then it could lead to the price of crypto as a whole, the crypto ecosystem as a whole crashing. So I know that you all know this, but I wanted to take a dive even deeper and put my research hat on and see how much I can find to potentially give you guys more clarity on whether or not we should be more careful about how we choose which stable coins we trust. So with Tether specifically, I just want to share a couple of pictures actually and some names here. I don't know if you guys know. Do you know? How do I move across tabs here without going here?
Oh, control tab.
Control tab.
Yep.
Thank you.
Nice.
Do you know who Brock Pierce is?
He's an ex-child actor. That's what it says.
Very blockchain
Indeed.
billionaire. A interesting man, it seems.
You might know
Oh, he
him.
was in Simpad, First Kid. I think I've seen that. Oh,
And
that
more
kid.
popularly, Mighty Ducks, right? If the
Oh yeah,
That's it.
now I recognize him from Mighty Ducks. Yeah.
Little do you know that he's actually, I mean, maybe we know, but there might be some people who wouldn't associate him so quickly to the crypto space. This guy has a really sketchy background. So he's actually known for fleeing to Spain, where he was arrested because of, he fled to Spain because he wanted to get away from some accusations around child pornography. They found him in Spain, and then they found him in a house full of child pornography. Now, this is the type of guy who started Realcoin. I don't know if you guys remember Realcoin, which was bought by Bitfinex, which eventually became Tether, right? So he's one of the founding members of this crypto. Now, I want to draw your attention one more time to this guy. Any guesses on who Stuart Hogner is?
No.
By the laser eyes, bit concerned.
That looks like my old boss.
If you were your old boss, you would be worried. But essentially, right now, he's the general counsel for Tether. And, when we talk about, we need to look at the people involved in a project to kind of judge the integrity of the project. This makes me have a few question marks because there are a few members in the team, the founding team of Tether, and actually the management team right now that seems a bit shady. And I won't go through all of them. I'll stop with Stuart. But essentially, Stuart has a history in crypto and online gambling. He's actually, or was, the director of compliance at a company called XKP. Again, we don't do online gambling, so maybe you don't know. But essentially, it was an online poker company and the parent company of another company called Ultimate Bet. Ultimate Bet got in trouble because they gave their some poker players, a god mode where they could see other poker players' cards.
Wow.
Keep in mind, this is the guy who is the director of compliance at this company. And whether or not he had a direct hand in this is questionable, but this was a fact. This did run, and he was in charge at the time. So these are some of the people who are in charge of Tether at the moment. Maybe not so much Brock Pierce, but he was certainly played a big part in setting this up. Most recently, Tether revealed its reserve, or the way that the reserves are broken down. And I want to pay attention to this chart real quick because it looks quite complicated, but the part I want to focus on is this. So what is Tether backed by is the question we want to ask. They revealed the reserves breakdown for the first time after they left the dollar standard, and you'll see that 65% of the 75%. So I did a quick calculation. 49% of their total reserves is commercial paper. What is commercial paper? It is unsecured debt, meaning if they default on any of this debt, they do not have capital to pay, right?
Unsecured
and commercial
loan.
paper, it's crazy. Commercial paper is typically only lent to any kind of A-rated institution like Apple, Microsoft. But who is Tether lending this to? There really isn't an answer. They could lend it to anyone. Any of this commercial paper through Tether can be lent to anyone. Unsecured debt, you basically get an IOU, and they're claiming that it's backed when it's not, potentially not really the case. So if we're talking about
pyramid
cash,
scheme.
it's funny that you bring that that up. Quick number off the top of my head, Bernie Madoff, he ran away with 64 billion USD at the end of his run. Tether is now at 62.9 billion in terms of volume, right? So getting into that scary territory. The other number that I want us to pay attention to is here, right? For a company that claims it's backed 1-to-1 to USD, it's 3% backed in cash to USD. You can take that as you will. I don't want to make any calls right now. I know that this is, again, part of the story of FUD around stablecoins, and I don't want to stick to just this narrative. What I am highly suggesting is that when we think about stablecoins, how trustworthy are they? Down the line, I think regulation is really going to come down like a hammer on them. The good thing is we have other projects, for example, like Luna, that allows us to have a more self-regulating system, right? This might be the future when it comes to the way that we look at stable coins. But for now, I would just have a think, right? How safe really are we with these stable coins? And what conclusions can you draw from data rather than just opinion and shoving away FUD? That's the end for me.
Well, that's definitely going to be a bit more cognizant of this for sure. But maybe I can just jump in real quick. I got very hard-hitting, very good project or exchange, if you will, I want to share. So let me just get this up here. But I mean, I think y'all know about FTX. This is, I think in the recent news, FTX, which is an exchange. I think more and more people are hearing about this now. It is absolutely blowing up right now. Its exchange token, FTX token, is, I think, is one of the biggest performers in the market right now. So I'm going to talk a little bit through it as we go. But how many of you here were using Blockfolio before?
Indeed.
I was.
Since the beginning, man. Since the
Still
beginning.
Still using it. Yeah.
All about it. All about it. Well, actually, FTX, they bought up Blockfolio, and it's only until recently that they finally cemented their acquisition with a change of their name. And I feel like FTX as an exchange buying up a kind of household name like Blockfolio is a big marketing play, good opportunity to acquire that technology, and just everyone sees it, knows it, and I think that's just put FTX even more on the map now. But now that we're all seeing it, it's becoming more of a common application we see. FTX, when people look into it, you might think, what makes this so special compared to others? And I'd say that, albeit, so FTX is an exchange, it does spot market as well. It is a big performer in the derivatives market. And the derivatives market, derivatives is buying an asset with that is its value is made off an underlying value of another asset. So like you buy a contract, a futures or options contract on like gold, and that's the underlying value of that product. This exchange specializes in this space. What actually makes them even better than some of the other, there's plenty of derivatives trading markets out here in the crypto space, for sure. But what makes this even better is that it's backed by none other than Sam Bankman-Fried, former Wall Street trader, very, very well-known gentleman who also created Alameda Research in 2017, and it was in 2019 that he came out with FTX. Him and his, I believe 3 other partners, very strong in the space, came together and put this into the market. But so you have that background of person with the derivatives Wall Street experience, creating this platform that's going to cater to people who can move size, if you will. So, some other things I'll say that might be interesting for anybody who's thinking about this exchange or why FTX token, and the reason why I like FTX token or these exchange tokens is that their value is a lot of the time attached to the performance of their exchange, the amount of volume that's being traded on it, and the utility of that exchange. And so if you think of that, if you're going to invest in an exchange token, you want to invest you're basically investing in an exchange. So you want to make sure the players like our boy Sam Bankman-Fried, they have good people behind the exchange to give it even more value. But just some things to know is, actually I want to just move it on here. Here in the derivatives market, it is second to Binance. We know Binance is a big winner in terms of the spot market and the derivatives market, but FTX is the second largest here. Remember, this is an exchange that was created in 2019. It has 2 years of existence. So we need to understand the size. We also have, actually we can even go over here, the spot market here. Here in the spot market, it's actually coming in fourth as well. Still not bad for a 2-year-old company when the next nearest company above it has been around since 2012, which is Coinbase. So this young company is playing in the big leagues here, but it has massive volume in terms of open contracts in its derivatives markets and its spot trading. And other thing that's quite interesting is that they have some, for back to his FTX coin here, there was an article here made a few days ago on the 9th. I talked about FTX token. I'm just going to roll it down here very quickly. So FTT, we're talking, it's already been in the news, the hype. This token is already performing quite well. Look at that trend right there at 34.6. Do you guys know what FTT is trading at today?
52, 53, 52,
Yes.
50-ish.
Oof.
And you're right. You're right. Look at that. Stunning. Absolute performance. Because I think a lot about FTX, more news is coming out about it, more articles, more attention is being given. And it's just becoming even more interesting. Actually, even big people like Kevin O'Leary, you guys know who he is? He's on Shark Tank. He announced a long-term investment into FTX as well.
Wow.
This is big names, big marketing. This is FTX is getting huge. For those of you who also know, FTX, around the world, there's a whole swath of products that you can enjoy. Just kind of bring it back here. You have the futures, spot market. You also can trade leverage tokens. You can actually trade on volatility. So if you think when the price goes up to a certain point and there's a big spread between the daily closes and the opens as such, you can trade on that specifically. You can trade on prediction markets. So depending on the outcome of an election, you can bet on that too. Fiat, recent, there's other cool ones here. One thing I took interested in is called OTC markets. You ever heard of that place?
Yeah, big. That's where the big plays play.
It's big whale play, but actually that's kind of a misconception. Big whales obviously are on it as well, but even people can jump onto it and make some quick trades that might actually be more fortuitous for them. There's usually a big concern with trading on exchanges in concerns of slippage. And a lot of times that we make bulk orders, those orders are broken down by people who can actually provide it. Whereby on the over-the-counter trading, they find a selected seller who meets the demands what you're looking for, and you can get it directly from them. So there's less fear of slippage. OTC is like peer-to-peer. You have a broker in between that finds the right person to make the trade. And they provide so many more other services like that. And I mentioned before, 2-year-old company, valued at 18 billion. Coinbase being around since 2012, valued at 84 billion. I'm thinking that in the same time span, this company, this exchange could absolutely blow up and gain on them, especially when FTX US gets more prominence and more people, because right now FTX US has less services than the actual FTX around the world. But once FTX US gains more, it will just blow up even further. There's so many good things about this. They are very climate focused as well. They have initiative in terms of sustainability as well too. This is a big topic. So especially with Elon Musk talking about concerns about BTC, and a lot of companies have made a focus on this here too. So they care about climate change. They're looking at sustainability. It's FTX token is a ERC20 token running on Ethereum. I believe they work on proof of stake as well. This is a centralized exchange. They also have what's called Serum, which is their DEX as well. So they're also in the decentralized space too. There's a litany of benefits you can get from owning. If you have FTX token, you can get rebates for lower trading fees. You can also get, before people got airdropped Serum, we get people to use it as well. And just the list just goes on. And so I can go on about this forever, as you can probably tell by how I'm excited about and how bullish I'm about this. But the last part I want to actually bring up is, this is the chart for FTX now. And right here, this line here, this is for Bitcoin USD pair. This is what I mean. It's beating out BTC in the market. It is a high performer in this market. This trade, I mean,
it's outperforming BTC by 2, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, everything's pointing to a winning coin here. People are believing in the platform for the aforementioned reasons I just said, and it's just it's gonna be a big player. So I have big expectations for this in the future. But that's my part. But hopefully I didn't go too long. But I love this project, and you guys should look into it too.
Oh yeah, no, I'm super. Sorry, go ahead, Base Buddha. You are the FTT knowledge god. Go ahead, please.
No, I was just gonna say this is probably the most bullish exchange that I think it's gonna outperform Binance like real soon. For viewers in the US, FTX US is actually doing a campaign for any new people who do KYC level 2. You'll be able to basically get in lottery to win a CryptoPunk. So the dish not one CryptoPunk. I think it's a partnership. You guys have to check that out. One thing about FTX, what in stability is that they were the only exchange that did not crash during the May 17th, massive dip. So if you want to be able to move funds at the right time, like you should probably do it all in FTX.
That's...
I actually don't hold FTX, but I'm just saying. Strong proponent.
Yeah, super bullish on FTX.
Sorry, I cut you off. knxqtr, take it away.
No, it's good. I was gonna say I'm just really bullish on FTX as well. I think if you guys do your research into it, you'll just see, the people behind FTX is incredible. They're super quick to implement anything, to respond to like customer queries. A lot of the stuff that Crypto-pleb mentioned, plus more, with partnerships as well. It's not just limited to Blockfolio. They recently bought the rights to the Miami Heat Stadium. They're in baseball. They're everywhere. They're in esports.
League of Legends.
They bought TSM. Yeah. They're absolutely everywhere. Soon your house will probably be owned by FTX. So yeah, better get in it before it moons.
Organization of your house, but yeah.
Cool. So my bit is just a quick update actually on, if I just share my screen quickly here. Is that sharing properly?
Yes.
Yeah.
See BTC chart?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, just a quick update on the market in terms of technicals. Starting with BTC. So BTC is looking really good right here. This blue range that you're seeing here, it recently broke out of this range. I wouldn't be surprised if it came back to test the top of this range at some point, but for now it looks like it wants to push a little bit higher. I do think there is a lot of resistance actually around 49.50. So if we start closing any sort of daily candles above that, then that's a really, really bullish sign. And then we'll probably be heading up to, all-time highs after that. But I wouldn't hold your breath for now. This could also be, a bit of a trap where, Bitcoin is just going to come back down and scare a lot of people out of the market before heading back up. That's not to say it's going to make lower lows, but yeah, just be aware of that. I think we are in a sort of like trappy trap territory right now. Market structure is looking good, higher highs, higher lows. what more is there to say on BTC? And just quickly on Ethereum as well. I think Ethereum is a little bit more easy to read than Bitcoin. It's performing a little bit better. Again, the blue sort of lines that you see there are the range highs and the range lows, with the mid range in the middle as well. Like Bitcoin, it's broken out of its range. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a retest of this prior high back in May, back at the end of May, which is around $2,900. So I would see that as massive buying opportunity. But for now, again, I think Ethereum, if the daily candle closes like this, it probably wants to go to like $3,500, maybe even $3,700 before a short to medium term pullback. So that's quick update on the market, quick update on the technicals. If you want me to chart anything else, if you want me to look at anything else, leave a comment down below. But I think we'll start to wrap this up. So thanks, boys. Thank you for providing all the alpha there is in the market. I know you guys put a lot of time into it. So yeah, if you like the content, again, please leave a like, subscribe below, hit the bell notification. We're coming to you hopefully more than once a week in the future, but we do appreciate any sort of support that we can get. So without further ado, let's call it a day. Oh, and don't forget to leave a comment. Tell us what projects you want to cover. Tell us what TA and coins you want us to cover, and we'll do that for you.
Give you a shout out for it too, so it's worth your while.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks, boys. And as always, may the pump be with you.
May the pump be with you too, Mark.
I'll be with you.